Hi, I'm Buzz Lagos. This is the Weekly Buzz. Minnesota came away with a great victory in Ottawa this past weekend. Up a goal, giving up a goal late, but then getting the winning goal very late in injury time to earn a crucial 3 points. Great for the team's confidence. It was a set piece that Daniel Mendez put away. We'll look at that. We'll look at a couple other set pieces and do a little analysis of set pieces and what teams are thinking about on attack and how to defend against them. Depending on where the ball is placed is for your set piece. If it's a free kick out to the penalty area, usually you've practiced a bit of that. I'll talk about the attacking side. Usually work on who can strike a ball on goal. Can they bend it up over the wall? Can they get it in one corner or the other corner? Can they strike it with pace and accuracy? All those things come into play, and you work at those in training, and you find, and the players discover who's best at it, and you line up that player who's best at it. There are certain parts of the field where you use your right foot primarily, others use your left foot, and you talk about that, and you try to develop the odds that help set that up. From a coaching perspective, you usually let the players decide who's going to take it. In that setting, Daniel it was a position where he could use the right or left foot to score in that situation. So Venegas could use his left and Daniel right. It was very central. And Daniel just looked at the space in the zone, and he felt he had it in him.
Venegas can finish from this distance. It's Mendez, though. And Daniel Mendez puts Minnesota ahead.
We're into injury time, and it's 1-1. Minnesota's desperate to get 3 points out of this game. They had an attack develop and earned a free kick. We see the free kicks roughly about 30 yards out, and it's a bit of a range to score from here. It's not an easy one, and we see Kevin Venegas and Daniel Mendez both on the ball, trying to decide what to do with this particular kick. In a central spot like this, either left or right foot can get in good stroke on goal, get some good power. As the ball moves outside I'll call this the penalty arc. You say it's to the left of the penalty arc. Now you tend to want to have a player with their right foot taking your free kick from this side, because they can now strike the ball and bend it, and I can strike it and bend it to the far post or the near post. When you move to the other side, to the right side of the arc, then you tend to want to have a left-footed shooter, again, because he can bend that ball back around inside the near post, inside the far post. There's various different trick plays. You maybe just sometimes a ball say into Ramirez and then back out to Giuliano and crack a shot on goal. But those complicate the issue more. When you have somebody who can strike a ball well, on target, up over the wall, go for it. Now, Ottawa just sets up a traditional defense. They have a 4-man wall. And the idea behind it is that the ball can't just be driven right inside that near post spot. It has to go up and over should give the keeper a chance to get to that ball before it comes up and over and down. A player outside the wall, picking up Andrei Gotsmanov on the flank. We have a player to the right of the wall, player I call him my kamikaze player, who's going to close that ball down quickly, block any short passes that might occur in that situation. And the rest of the players are picking up man-to-man. Notice, too, when you have set pieces, how you bring up the troops who can head the ball well. So you see Pitch Collins in the box. You see Calvanos, the 2 central defenders are now not back in central defense. They're in the mix because they're strong on the air. They're good with their heads. You see Thiago and Campos both kind of in that wall area, and their main job is to kind of shield the goalkeeper. You want to keep the goalkeeper from seeing the ball as much as possible, because the later he reacts to the ball, the more likely it is to go in the goal, as we will see. Mendez, you can just see his decision is to try to go up over the wall inside that near post area. The keeper's a little bit unsighted. He's kind of looking what's going to happen. He really can't see the ball now until it just clears the wall. And by now, when he reacts to it, the pace of the ball, the accuracy of the ball, it just hits, just kisses the post, and the keeper can't get to it inside the goal for a game-winning goal for Minnesota in the closing minutes. Notice that Ottawa, a couple players jumped and a couple players didn't jump. If the outside players had jumped, they might have gotten to that one. The one player in the middle did jump, but the thing went outside his head. He couldn't get to it. Another ball that helped probably shield the goalkeeper from seeing it. So it's very common that walls will jump and try to block the ball, so increasing your wall another 6 to 12 inches by jumping and making it even more difficult for a player to put the ball up over the top. So if all the players in Ottawa jumped simultaneously, they might have blocked that one, especially the ones on the outside of the wall. Balls further away, again, are usually balls that are bent into that danger zone between the penalty spot and the 6-yard box. And usually like to have it driven and bending and dipping so it stays away from the goalkeeper and is difficult for defenders to head out of trouble. And your players can attack that ball and get it on goal.
Right into the center and a goal. And we are tied.
Now in this situation, again, if you're playing in a U12 league, you might chip the goalkeeper from this range overall. But now we're at the professional level, and you move out of that ability to chip goalkeepers. You just see the near post dangerous space right now, and you see a lineup of Tampa runners ready to make their run. What are the options for Georgie in free kick situation like this? I like the one driven in this space when it's available into that near post area. He could drive it to the far post area, kind of just beyond the penalty spot for a far post header from one of his teammates. Or sometimes players will play this ball up over the top, beyond the 6-yard box, kind of between the 6-yard box and the outside of the penalty box. And the outside player for Tampa would maybe make a curling, bending run, and the long ball's played, and the curling, bending run gets onto it, and it's kind of facing the ball and heads it back across the goal mouth for another Tampa player to knock the ball in. Defensively around the ball, we see that Fort Lauderdale has a man about 10 yards from the ball, and that's just to block that hard-driven ball, so it has to be lofted up and over. And another player's outside, keeping an eye on the Tampa player who's wide. Guerrero, you'd like him back and seeing the ball. He's a little slow to react and get in a good position to perhaps block anything that's driven into this near post space. Fort Lauderdale's trying to hold a tight offside line in the 18-yard box. Ford is off his line, looking to help pick up anything that's in here to help out in case the ball is driven closer to goal. And then Tampa, as the ball is delivered, starts to make their runs. The dilemma, as you'll see, is it's difficult to hold the offside line and be able to stay with runners, because the runner tends to have an advantage, especially if he times the line right, times the kick right. If he starts 2 or 3 yards back from the offside line that the defense is holding, he many times can run right by that offside line and find himself wide open for a scoring chance if the ball is delivered timely and accurately. Now, when you look at let's focus on the ball and its path right now. And again, question, can Ford get to this? Can Ford actually maybe move out, dive, fist that ball out? Can he make that step? He had that path for it. I think he might have been able to get that, but he's a little nervous. We'll go back again on this one, too, and just see. Tampa's doing not anything really special in their runs. They got, 1, 2, 3, 4 runners coming across the box. You see Santos leaning forward, and Santos is actually ahead of the play. And he's in this spot where he actually can get to the ball first if it's delivered perfectly, and Georgie just plays a perfect ball over the top. You now can focus on Santos, seeing he's got the eye on the ball. The ball just goes over PC's head, barely over PC's head, can't quite get to it. And it comes down to the ground, and the ball, which defensively you never want to see, get close to the ground because Santos is able to just get a little outside the left foot touch, and it's a goal. Look at Fort Lauderdale's line. And I believe it's number 7, Sanfilippo, who just pulls into the box early, now putting Santos onside, unknown to the 3 Fort Lauderdale defenders who are holding the offside line at the top of the penalty box. And you'll even see one of the players puts his hand up when Santos makes his run because he knows Santos was between him and the goal line. He assumed he was holding the offside line, didn't realize that Sanfilippo moved back, allowing Santos to be onside. Minnesota comes away with 3 points and a great game against Ottawa with a late goal from a set piece. They now travel to Tampa. Set pieces may play an important role in that game too, as Tampa got their goal last weekend through a set piece. We'll see how both teams defend and attack on those set pieces, which could be the difference in this crucial match in a bid for the playoffs for both Tampa and Minnesota.